I do believe that running influencers can make the sport feel cheap and gimmicky. Welcome back to the club, where Thursdays are dedicated to active recovery. On these days, I reflect on my training week, reset my garage gym, and talk about the latest news in wellness and fitness. So this week has been the first full week of going back to my usual workout schedule of at least 4 days a week in about 2 weeks. The past couple of weeks have been, we've been out of town, and then just life in general has happened. So the last couple of weeks I was only able to work out maybe twice. So now it's a matter of getting my body back to being acclimated to the intensity that I was maintaining before. So currently my Apple Watch is showing that I'm well above my training load. And that makes sense because the last 30 days have definitely been different as far as my training load and just my training in general. So just getting back to that, heart rate variability is still good, still staying pretty consistent according to my Oura Ring data. So I actually finally caught up with a run group in my neighborhood that runs on Friday mornings. And since I don't work on Fridays, I figured it was a good idea to meet up with them because they like to meet up around 5:30 a.m. So we did 5 miles on Friday, and my legs were still really sore from the heavy squats that I did on Wednesday, but they are definitely recovering. So to flush out that lactic acid in my legs, I did all of the things. I did my mobility, I hopped in the sauna, I did my compression boots, Tiger Balm, all the stuff. I did not foam roll because I knew that would be very painful and intense, but it's getting better. The DOMS is slowly subsiding, so that's been pretty good. So here is my latest journal entry and moment of reflection that I want to share this week. Runfluencers give me the icks. Running influencers have definitely impacted running as a sport. They have shone a spotlight on something that used to be considered niche and have appeared to make it more accessible. Because of this, there has been an increase in popularity, and races are starting to become overcrowded. In order to meet the demand, 2 scenarios are happening. Either race organizers are looking to decrease the number of race entries, or they're having a lottery. For example, Boston Marathon just opened another lottery to 1,000 registrants, and now there is a push to make the Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc smaller to accommodate the demand. I've even noticed a change in local races. In years past, the pace per mile minimum was around 20 minutes. Now it's increased to 18. This year, for the Greater St. Louis Marathon, there was an early start provision where slow runners could start an hour earlier. There have even been measures put in place to make running either more competitive or more accessible. I know I'm never going to be on the competitive level, and I'm okay with that. However, if my pace dropped to where I cannot finish under the time limit, I believe it's time to pursue a different sport. I do believe that running influencers can make the sport feel cheap and gimmicky by doing all of these crazy challenges like running a full marathon with 0 training, or misleading followers by only posting a short running clip, giving the impression that they did a whole workout. What has become annoying to me also is how social media doesn't always include the full picture and can create the false narrative that running is always enjoyable, because it's always not enjoyable. Some days it seems like I can get into a groove, or I can't get settled because reasons, and it becomes unpleasant. Other days, the stars align and I feel great. Beginners often misinterpret how running is supposed to feel, and if it doesn't feel right on certain days, they blame running. instead of taking into consideration the weather, or if their body's recovered, or if they have enough sleep, or if they're eating enough. There are so many variables that can impact running that people don't think about. On the other hand, running is also a very forgiving sport. So even though everything may not line up perfectly in that moment, at the end of the day, you can always adjust your pace. So there is a local influencer that will remain nameless, who just started running a little less than a year ago and have already competed about 4 half marathons and are trying to collect as many as they can. Now, some people might be impressed by these efforts. I'm not. Running has always been a learning experience for me, and I'm always thinking about how I can improve or how I can be better at what I'm doing. I don't always go for a personal best, but when it happens, it feels nice. One runner during a group run mentioned that for him, participating in half marathons forces him to push himself. And I found that encouraging because sometimes I ask myself, why am I still running after over a decade? I can answer that question, but sometimes I wonder how influencers would answer that question, especially those who seem like they just woke up out of nowhere and decided just to run today. Because of this particular influencer, I have also noticed that people in our circle and certain acquaintances are also taking interest in running, but again, I'm questioning their intentions as to why they're doing it. Are they doing it because this particular person made it look fun, or are they doing it to benefit themselves, like their mental health or their physical fitness or just overall wellness in general? That's what I want to know. Running influencers can make people believe that they need to be on a certain level to be called a runner, and that's not always realistic. I am proud to use the walk-run method all day, every day, but some people think that's ridiculous. But for me, I'm just trying to make sure that I can recover appropriately and not be laying face down on the couch because I've beat up my body so bad. It's not worth it if I can't recover well. So, with all that said, what do you think? Do you think the run community has been impacted either negatively or positively by these influencers? Do you think they're giving a realistic picture, or is it just fluff? Are you interested in running, and why? So comment, like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you next Active Recovery.